Welcome to Design Jam Session, or as I'd like to call it, DJs, where I give you a brief, you give me a playlist, and we try to tackle it over some good music.
I mean, we were just sitting back, chopping it up, reminiscing about the good old days and all that.
Okay. So, hi guys, welcome to DJs Design Jam Session, the show where we tackle a brief or listen to some good music. Today, I'm joined by none other than Ken. I've known Ken for a while now. Not for a while, I've known Ken for quite some time. He was my design trainer. Um, he was my design trainer in school. He's been a good design trainer. He's a mentor of mine. I really admire him as well. And I'll probably take you through his bio, his brief bio. So Ken is the creative and innovation lead at Nairobi's Trust. He's a creative head there, teaches a lot of students. Yeah, and he's a creative designer and an aspiring digital artist. He has some artwork, some amazing artwork he's been doing that he'll probably share um, in the course of this stream. And also, you can find him on social at Ken Kioli. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah? Welcome, Ken.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Greg.
Yeah. How's the
Happy.
how's the going? How's the going?
The going is slow, I must say.
Yeah.
Being at home is slowing things down for a lot of people and especially for myself. But
Mhm.
I think for a very long time, I've always been I like things when they're going tempo. I like staying at home.
Yeah.
So this is heaven. Oh my gosh, this is heaven. If I could never leave the room, then I would. Oh,
I'm,
they
I'm
so long as
seeing
they just bring me my check at the end of the month and food to
and
come with
food.
it.
Yeah,
I'm
food
happy.
is important. I'm seeing you're
But
growing the quarantine beard. I personally I've shaved a bit.
ah,
But soon I'm trying to be like the Revenant. I'm trying to get a Revenant beard.
I'm going for a Chris Hemsworth kind of. I've not decided yet. So it's either Chris Hemsworth
Mm,
or what's the other guy, John Wick,
John Wick, eh?
Keanu Reeves.
Keanu
So
Reeves.
in between those, I'll be extremely happy.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I'm also growing much my hair, so yeah, that's fine.
Problem,
So
huge problem.
how's
I can't get these ones to touch. I can get this part of my beard and
this?
this part here
Uh,
touch. So I have up, but I have the quarantine to solve
yeah.
that. So
So you just need a bit more manure. That's it. Just need a bit more manure. Yeah.
I know.
So how has been working from home? I know personally, I kind of like I kind of enjoy it actually. I've been my most productive working at home, and that's not to be said for a lot of people. So how has your working from home been?
It's been 50-50.
Hmm.
In terms of work, I've really enjoyed it very much. I'm able to wake up at whatever time that I want and
Hmm.
sleep as late as I'm really even my boss, my supervisor, is
Hmm.
always making fun of me because he knows by 4 I'm still up and I'll probably wake up a little bit later.
Yeah.
And I enjoy that silence at night when I'm creating. So for me, it's heaven because I don't have to worry about waking up in the morning to
Yeah.
travel to the office. So
Yeah.
it's heaven. But then the problem with that is I also get a lot of my inspirations from outside,
Hmm.
from that traveling, from that interacting,
Yeah.
from IMAX when I'm watching a Marvel movie. So I think a little bit of where I get my source of inspiration has been taken away from me.
Hmm.
So that's where I'm lacking a little bit. But
Hmm.
in terms of the actual work in itself, I'm definitely enjoying it. I'm not complaining.
Yeah, I think it's the same for me. I'm definitely getting more work done at night than in the day, and I usually wake up like super late, which is good. Most of my night is usually used for like heavy deep thinking, as opposed to the morning where I'm looking at emails, deciding what to do, what not to do, and what not, and getting in briefs. So it has been like it's been a slight there's a slight learning curve to it, but we are we're surviving. We're surviving. That's the word. We're surviving.
And I think there's also the factor about it's also not our choice.
Yeah,
It's one thing to decide to work at home,
yeah,
being forced to work at home,
yeah,
and there's rules that come with it. You should be inside your house by 7 and all this.
yeah.
In Italy, it does take something a little bit away. Choice. It takes away the choice, the
The true,
fun behind it.
true.
But I think in overall, we are still getting what we want. So
Yeah.
which is not.
So do you think there'll be new working new ways of working when this is over, or when we probably don't know if it'll be over, but do you think that employers will be more susceptible to offering remote working positions for people who just need to stay at home? Like, do you think that's a possibility for recruiters?
Yeah, I think I've had this conversation with my friends before, and one key thing that I would predict is if a lot of people make profit during this
Hmm.
time with employees working from home, a lot of them will start thinking about what is the need of paying 100, 200, 600,000 shillings a month for rent, while people can still just work from home. We only need like a front office for clients and,
Yeah,
meeting, all this. And a lot of them will evaluate, there's a lot of expenses that go into admin work. And
yeah.
if people are productive from where they are,
Hmm.
why? I think though Africa, I'll talk about maybe the creative space. Africa is
Hmm.
still there where we still value the presence of an office very much.
Hmm.
But especially the European space, a lot of them have a lot of collaboration spaces.
Yeah,
Um, co-working spaces are huge there, and we have a lot of creatives just working from home. They have
yeah,
studios and they collaborate and they work on huge projects. And if this then trickles down to us now, especially because of this,
hmm,
and people see the value, then definitely that is the one thing that I'm sure will be kept.
yeah,
People will see value in reducing their cost in admin and mainly through rent. Uh, and also, once again, expenses in things like internet. We pay a lot of resources to maintain those people working effectively in the office.
yeah.
But if we could facilitate that and just have them just working at home and having 1 or 2 meetings in a week,
Hmm.
uh, what is the pain behind that? The second thing is, uh, one thing that I'm sure will be kept is a lot of people will find new talents and new things and new opportunities for them when they're at home.
Hmm.
So a lot of them might not feel the need to go back to their employer. They
Yeah.
might feel I'm doing good, so why do I need to go back?
Yeah,
And I'm not spending any transport. All I need is internet
yeah.
and a laptop, and I'm
You're
making money
sorted. So
and I'm sorted.
yeah. So it's interesting you've said that a lot of people will like discover new talent, and I think part of what I think would happen, obviously, is for the people who are hired, they'll definitely be it will be a level playing field. So there won't be anything like office politics. There won't be everything that uh, you kind of get when you're in the office, which there is. Like if you're trying to move up in management, there's someone who is blocking you at the sorts. So I think
Yeah.
remote will probably encourage a lot of the small guys who are like the workers, and it kind of like separates the wheat from the chaff. I think it's the saying, like the people who are working versus the people who are actually not working. So I think this is
Yeah.
the right time where impact will be felt within organizations, and I think that's super in my opinion. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. You can add whichever kindly.
Also, other than just that, in the general aspect is if you look at how a lot of employers have treated a lot of people have been let go,
Yeah,
can neglect.
yeah,
A lot of people have been sent home, or the different aspects of how that has turned out negatively more than positively,
yeah,
is a lot of people will evaluate the relationship between them and the employer.
yeah.
That is something else people will look at. I don't think anybody ever dreamed that there would be zombie apocalypse minor happening.
Yeah, true, true.
A minor variation of, The Walking Dead happening.
The
But
Walking Dead version 2. Yeah?
yes, but then one thing that has clearly come out is how important you are to the company, or how the company thinks you are important to them,
Yeah,
and the limitations that they have in terms of, the power that you have within the company that you're employed. If you can wake up one day and be told, you know what, you have to go home, and we'll call you,
yeah,
and you'll come in. You're coming back, maybe the same passion, the same drive might not be there as it was before. So that's also something a lot of employers should look at.
yeah,
Not only the employers, but they should expect, because
yeah,
then companies are, a lot of people spend 8 hours a day at work every day, which is literally majority of their day,
yeah,
and people tend to think family. So the way a lot of people treat their employees during the time will very much shape the way their relationship with their employees move up in future.
yeah.
A lot of employees will tend to go to companies where they heard that the company treated their employees better during this time period
True, true.
than another company where, immediately they laid off people. So they'll tend to think, it's better for me to work in that company because they'll treat me better.
Yeah,
So that's also a lot of brand definition will happen after this COVID-19.
yeah, I totally agree. And that to me is basically brands who stick to their values. Every brand has values, and brands that will probably stick to their values at this time are probably brands that will probably win. There have been a lot of guys who have been let go. It's very unfortunate. Even on my end, the guys who've been let go. It's very unfortunate. We didn't expect it. We kind of expected it. The pandemic was a warning in some ways to like prepare for the worst. We want like, oh, this is probably will probably die down. Some were a bit optimistic it will die down, but that's not the case. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we'll move on. We'll move on to the news. This is where we probably banter on everything tech related, art, design, music, and moving to the news, the PS5. Have you seen the PS5 demos? Have you gotten a chance to see this revolutionary console experience? From their intros, from their demos, they said the PS5 will be 10 times better than most the current PCs, which is a bit skeptical, but we'll see. So have you gotten a chance to see the trailers, the Unreal Engine trailers for the PS5?
Yeah, I think when they released the first one, I think the first person to send it to our office WhatsApp group,
Uh-huh.
and I'm first of all, I'm not a gaming, like experts, if I could call myself that.
No,
But I'm I'm a huge fan of digital art, and
yeah,
concept that a little bit goes into gaming characters and environments and scenarios.
yeah.
And with with the launching of PS5 and the opportunities it brings in for VR and
Mhm,
online interaction with a lot of with people,
mhm.
and the technologies behind it, in terms of pushing up the specs in hardware, I can't wait. First of all, I'll just be honest. I wanted to launch so I can go get the PS4. I'm sure that the price is
Yeah, yeah.
just
So,
wait.
so
I,
the
I
fun,
want I
so
want
the,
the Pro. I
uh-huh.
want the Pro. So I'm just waiting for the 5 to come out so I can buy the Pro.
So,
Uh,
so the funniest thing happened when COVID hit.
yeah.
So I was
Mm,
actually, my small brother has a PS4, and I was planning on getting one for myself, the Pro actually,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
PS4 prices are practically hiked up because of the COVID pandemic. Everyone is staying at home.
Painful.
Everyone has to like have a console. There isn't enough demand. There isn't enough supply rather, um,
Yeah.
and so prices are over the roof, and that's expected actually. But personally, I am excited. I am excited for the PS5. The PS4 came out when is it 2013? 2013, if I'm not wrong. I might be wrong.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, but okay, so in my opinion, for you to actually, so the gameplay obviously will be a bit different, but for you to actually be immersed in the pixels, you probably need to have
Mhm.
maybe probably a 4K screen. And I think there you can see the
That,
lighting.
I think moving forward for any person who's investing in gaming and you're buying a screen
Yeah,
that isn't okay moving forward, I
yeah,
think it's one really just a waste of your money because what it's like it's the same as any device that people are being told to buy right now. If it doesn't have what is it called USB-C
yeah,
cable,
yeah,
your that device you'll eventually have to replace it in the next 2 to 3 years because then
yeah,
everything is moving to you. It's more efficient, it's more fast. You know, it's three in one. You have power,
yeah.
data, uh, all this. So it's the same as with your 4K monitors. The refresh rate is something though, something else.
Yeah,
That again,
totally agree.
with your
If you're planning on investing with the PS5, obviously you probably enjoy it on a 4K screen. I totally agree. Yeah, and I'm really excited. So I think 6 months from now we probably see the PS5 how it looks like. Xbox also has their own console. I personally am not an Xbox fan, but they have the Xbox I think One X, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, which is launching. So that's good news in the gaming community as well. Moving on to other news. Sorry.
I, I I saw, and there's also Google's. I forgotten what it's called.
Mhm.
The online in
Oh, Google
gaming console.
Stadia. Google Stadia.
Google is also.
Yeah, Google's also launching.
Yes, so that's also. But then at the end of the day,
Hmm.
I am interested to see how many people will be able to afford it.
Hmm.
I'm not sure about the prices because that's one of the other limitations of gaming in Kenya is that gaming is
Yeah,
expensive here.
yeah, it is. It is.
It's already expensive regardless, but
Hmm.
one looking at a new platform that will take, if it's launched in 5 months, it's going to take around what, a month or two to get
A
here so
month or
that it's
two
widely
to
accepted.
get here. Yeah, you're perfectly
Then
right.
obviously
Yeah.
so it might be big and we might all want to have it,
Hmm.
but I'm looking at a market reach in like a year after that. There's obviously the one or two people who'll definitely go into gaming, the
Yeah.
enthusiasts. But I still think that PS4 is quite strong in the market.
Hmm.
And like you said, if a lot of people are going into gaming more and more, we're
Yeah.
looking at more people joining the gaming space around 1 year ago.
Yeah.
So are you gonna give up your brand new PS4 or just that $5? That's
No.
also something else to look at in the
I
coin.
mean, the PS4 is still a beast, obviously. We're not going to discredit the PS4. In my opinion, there's something called the law of diminishing return, where, and I think we're there in terms of phones, where, like, how good can a phone really get? Like, right now, we probably have what? Dual cameras, we have triple, but how much is it? Like, how how good is the upgrade? Um, think about the 3310
Is it
to,
worth?
like, is it worth it? Yeah, that's basically the law of diminishing return. I'm probably wrong, but it basically states like the more value you bring, the less return you get. I think that's it. But yeah, moving on. Um, Moving on, news for Anifam. So Anifam is a designer from Congo, a fashion designer that did her first 3D, her first virtual virtual runway. Sorry, I'm not fashion versed, but yeah, she did her first virtual runway with her designs, and they are quite intriguing. I personally followed her on IG just to see the designs. She's 29 years old, from Congo, and that's just a few of her works. These are really traditional Congo attire, and she launched it using social media, which is interesting. So we've talked, Ken. We've talked a bit about how I choose what to learn. I think we've had this conversation before, yeah. And I told you the next, like I was doing a bit of 3D because I'm not well versed in 3D. So do you think the role of, so let's probably talk about Anifa before we go to that. So what are your thoughts on this?
I actually had heard about this before, but I didn't know into detail what exactly. I just knew that she had done an online, runway fashion show, and
Mm-hmm.
it was a huge deal, and she was trending for some time.
Yeah.
And later on, you showed me about how exactly she had actually achieved it, and I am blown. First of all, I actually thought there were people walking inside. It's just that the room was dark and maybe something of sort. But
Yeah.
when I get to see that it's actually 3D, models walking, then
Mhm.
I still don't.
I personally really love it.
I'm
I think this will probably revolutionize how, brands actually do their runways rather, because a lot of guys are locked in the house, and there's been concern of guys stealing her work, or brands who'll probably steal her work. But I personally really
concept
love it. Yeah.
still her concept for the runway.
Yeah, yeah. So there are guys online who are saying that brands might steal her work and not credit her. The guys who are saying, if you want to work with her, just pay her the full amount. Yeah. But I,
Sure,
wi-
sure.
I really hope she gets the check. I really hope she gets a following. She makes her brand.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. I think so, but then at the end of the day, it will depend on how she chooses to should they capitalize on this newfound fame
Hmm.
uh, afterwards. But I would be hopeful that good things would come her way. Sometimes you don't invest in the product; you invest in the person. I think
Yeah.
I've um, some classes a while back. It's something that I learned about. It's one of those. Is it a metaphor, example, something of sort,
Hmm.
where a guy was interviewing. It was like an open startup pitch,
Hmm.
and one of the guys made this interesting presentation, and the guy said, "You know what? I want to invest in you." And
Hmm.
some of the guys, once the guy who was making the presentation and the pitch left, some of the other investors asked him, what's wrong with you? That idea I ideally would fail. But then the guy answered and said, I'm not really investing in the idea. That idea could actually fail, and I don't
Hmm.
really care. But the guy who presented showed something that is worth investing in,
Yeah.
that regardless of whatever it is that he's going to invest himself into, eventually he's going to be successful. And that's what I'm investing in. And this is the similar thing. The product could fail. She could even stop being a fashion designer, but it's her, it's what she's doing. If people invest in her, I'm
Hmm.
thinking,
Yeah. She'd
we'll
be
see.
she'd be successful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally. So moving on. So I wanted to talk about remote working for designers. Obviously, we've probably
Just-
touched
Maybe just to
touched
bring
on this. Sorry?
bring you back a little bit, you had a question on 3D and you investing your time in.
Oh, sorry, before I forget, yeah, I should probably take notes of this. So I remember you asking me how I go on choosing what next to learn. Obviously, right now I'm doing a bit of 3D.
Yeah.
And my answer was looking at how industries are evolving, looking at how designing on 2D screens would probably be obsolete in the next 20, 30 years. And the role designer would probably like fade off. The same way we had an emergence of UX designers in the last, what, 10 years. And now UX designers are probably, one of the highest designers paid out there, is the same. So looking at industry standards for me, or industry trends for me, kind of informs what I'll learn next. And this is a good example of that. I really enjoyed. I'm pretty sure she probably did a lot. She probably invested a lot of time on this. And you can tell from the detail, the creases on the clothes. You can tell she invested a lot of time. The cloth simulation and whatnot. And just that just comes to shows how much work she puts in her craft. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Um,
also it's also showing a lot of how the different creative fields are merging. This is a 3D fashion show.
yeah.
Like, it's the same as I'm sure you've read the article a while back that IMAX in 2020 or 2021
Mhm,
want to go into VR for their cinemas, and
mhm,
just do away with the screen and just have people wear VR kits, and you can enjoy a 3D movie, but
mm,
in a kit instead. And slowly the screen is disappearing and the projector is going to be out of
yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
so
True.
there's different images and different spaces and new form of um, creativity that are coming out. If the fashion designer now has to study 3D so that they're
Yeah.
able to do that, or they have to hire a 3D person in
Yeah.
in in their, you know
Yeah. So
it's
I
just,
think careers are merging at this point. Yeah.
yeah, very much.
Yeah. I think we'd go to the next point. So I wanted to kind of gauge you on what you've been doing during um, lockdown. Obviously, a lot of designers are working from home, as is
Yeah.
everyone who has that privilege. And has your process changed? Have you found tools? Maybe we'll just start with you. I'll probably share the tools that I got and how my process kind of changed within the course of the lockdown.
Mhm.
Yeah. So has your
Yeah.
process changed? Yeah.
I
How is your process now as compared to when you went to the office rather?
I'm learning quite a lot. It's slow but sure. I
Mhm.
don't know whether that makes sense. Sometimes when you're, and I'm sure you can attest to this when you're working in an agency, is that you're always learning new things. But some of the time when you're learning is because there is a client or there's a project that you need to apply whatever it is that you're learning.
Yeah.
So you never get time to breathe and actually internalize the new skill
Mhm.
unless you repeat it and repeat it and repeat it until it becomes a habit for you, and now it picks up and it's a new skill. But if it's going to be something that you're going to do once and then you don't have to do it again, then you can't say that you've actually learned a new
Yeah.
skill. It's just an agenda.
Yeah.
And for me, working from home gives me that that learning curve that is more. I'm a little bit slow when it comes to acquiring new skills, but when I do, I really run with them.
Mm.
And for me, it's slow but sure.
Mhm.
I've ventured into one of the things that I wanted to do was solidify my sketching skills.
Mhm.
They've really been a little bit off.
Mhm.
So for that, I really invested a lot of time in online classes. Artists, tried. I've gone traditional. Funny thing is now I'm trying to
That's
do
that's
painting.
that's that's the way to go by there. I envy people who like started their careers traditional and then became designers. I truly envy
Yeah,
them. Like they have such they're sort of like magicians when it comes to a good art person who is doing design. They are amazing. Yeah.
true. There's actually you just said that and somebody came into mind. Her name is Sylvia. I've forgotten her second name, but
Mhm.
she's traditionally a painter, mentored by one of Kenya's biggest painters, Panye, and then now is an art director. And her work is on a different level, and
Yeah.
you can really tell that the way she thinks
Hmm.
is a good abstract way of creating
Yeah.
content. And for me, I've just decided I'm moving away from the tools and the digital and the computer and just stepping back.
Hmm.
I recently just bought two large sketchbooks, and I'm
Hmm.
just going back to pen and paper and just doing classes online and just drawing.
Hmm.
And I think I'll solidify myself much better with that. But then digitally also, I've new tools that I've gotten to learn. I've gone into video editing,
Hmm.
so I've started that.
It's nice. Hmm.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. One of those things that you always I want. I
Yeah.
think I should, but you never get to,
Yeah.
because then my workspace doesn't require me to know video
Yeah.
editing or photography.
Yeah.
But for me, it's been it's become a passion, and I'm going to be applying it very soon, and I can't wait to be. And it's funny when you start doing something and you see overlapping, thought processes. Oh, so a video and me are just the same person, just thinking it. And for me, those are the two things that I think are.
Yeah. So you're learning a lot of new skills. That's one. You definitely. And how's your relationship with students now? Is it so? Are you having daily check-ins with them? Are you so? How's your relationship with students right now?
Sorry, I just actually remember that one of the questions that you had asked was also whether my process has changed.
Yeah, your
Sorry for that.
process. Yeah.
My process is refining itself. I'm getting to appreciate the processes that I've really been struggling to put into effect. In the last 1 year or so, I've really been studying a lot about user experience and a design thinking approach into problem solving, because one of my things is I want to move away from like you invest in yourself in what's coming. Solution design is one of the things that I really want to invest
Yeah.
into, and design is one of those processes. And during this time period, it's really proven itself helpful when you're working from home. There's less should I say formal processes that you have to follow in the office. Have to send a design to somebody,
Yeah.
and then working from home, you just have to give me this design by tomorrow at 2. The process in between is all up to you. So I get to enjoy applying my processes very well, and I'm really enjoying it. In terms of the relationship between me and my students, this is my first class in 2 years. So I'd taken a break from TAFE and moved into coordination and management. And coming back into training, there was a learning curve. I had to go back to when in my previous position I was talking to trainers. I would hold design workshop, but for people who already know design, who are experts in their. So when you're talking to them, you're much quicker. You're always throwing technologies all over, because then these people are in their field.
Yeah.
But when you go back to like the first class, I in the first 30 minutes, the students were like, "We didn't get that. We didn't get that." You're throwing things that we are not. You are assuming that we know, but we aren't sure. Don't know that we know. So I had to take a step back, and for me, it was a learning curve for the first I think 3 weeks of learning, but I enjoyed going back to class. I think that's a definite for me. Even if I leave my employment in aerobics, I think a teacher in me will still thrive to continue teaching people even after this. And during this time, we've struggled a little bit. As you know, we work with students from advantaged backgrounds, so some of them don't have laptops and the rest. So we've had to innovate around how can they continue learning with easily accessible tools at home, easily accessible and platforms for them. And we really, should I say, shined in that particular space, because they're still able to learn and get new skills. Maybe not the heavy ones that they would have done when they were in class, but still, if so long as you have the will, I think you always find a way to make sure that your students are learning. If your heart is there. We've done that, and it's fun. It's fun. It's good getting a text from a student telling you that we know you don't have to, but the effort that you're putting to ensure that you continue learning is good. Like when you came as a guest trainer, they really enjoyed that. A lot of positive feedback, and those are some of the things that we've put into place to ensure that they continue learning.
Yeah, and I think in the spirit of the Nairobi student not giving up, is translated to the organization as well. The organization doesn't seem that it's failing amidst the pandemic. Yeah. Before I continue, Nairobit is a design school that teaches people from disadvantaged backgrounds. They're currently doing a donation, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, you guys are doing a donation. Yeah, so you can, if you want to donate, it will be just in the screen. It will just pop out there. You can donate to them. The students are not currently in school, so if you donate, that will be really good. Moving on to processes.
Yeah.
Personally, I like my process completely changed, and the fact that I can now take a breather after every brief and say I'll probably take a nap for 20 minutes. That is really good. Um, in terms of like giving feedback, I've found a bit. I've kind of found tools that help me give feedback, and they're centered around. There's this one tool I found that's really good, and it's called Loom,
Mhm.
Luu, and it's like my go-to tool right now. So any chance I get that I want to give feedback to someone, I'll just
Mhm.
record my screen. I think this is it. I'll just record my screen. After recording my screen, I'll send them a link to my feedback while I go through the creative or whatever they send me. So
Mhm.
this so in terms of so this wasn't really the new. This was really the normal for us working at the office. You just went to someone's desk and you know, um, call them over to your desk or went to their desk and give them feedback there. So this has really changed the game for me. In
Mhm.
terms of skills, yes.
Mhm.
So I think I'm a bit more like you, whereby I think I learned motion for about a year and a half before I even like started doing anything, because I'm a slow learner. I don't get things chap as opposed to other people. So when I'm learning new skills, I usually take it slow and easy and nonchalant. Yeah. Um, and yeah. I think it's about time we go to our design session. Do you have anything to add? Maybe as I share the brief.
I'm good. I think the audience will if they have any questions for me and anything they would like to get from me.
Yeah,
The questions are
yeah. So if you have questions, just comment down below. So the brief. So this is our brief. I hope you're ready. So
yep.
our brief for today is so before I even play the brief, let's play our intro because I just can't get um, enough of the intro.
Welcome to Design Jam Session, or as I'd like to call it, DJs, where I give you a brief, you give me a playlist, and we try to tackle it over some good music. I mean, we were just sitting back, chopping it up, reminiscing about the good old days and all that. Tracking my roots, where I came from and where I'm going.
Yes, that's our intro. So
Mhm.
our brief for today is from Deadbeat. So Deadbeat is an online music community focused on EDM, drum, bass, house, dubstep type of music. Our close
Mhm.
competitors are Monster Cat and 99 Lives. I probably have their logos there. We'd like our logo to focus around the dead plus beach idea. Dead could be a skull or zombie, so they're probably giving us a bit of thought starters for the design. And the
Yeah.
beat could be music featuring their headphones or music equalizer styles. For the style, we prefer something colorful like 99 Lives album art, something when someone sees the logo and just wants to listen to some awesome music. So, yes. So you have the brief, obviously, Ken, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, any comments before you start?
I
I'm
like the
also
fact that
I, I'm also doing the
they've
brief,
given.
by the way, yeah. So you're not in this alone.
Yeah, going to kill this. Uh,
Yeah. So
once
so
they said zombie, I was done. I knew exactly what I was gonna do.
yeah, I knew you'd like this brief, by the way. Like I knew you'd like this brief. That's why I picked it. So just for a bit of context, this is what Monster Cat looks like, yeah. And there's another one called 99 Lives, which is another band that they probably have. They probably love their logo. I really like that. Yeah? Really like how
Yeah.
that looks like. So this is some of the references they gave us. Monster Cat, obviously. Yeah. So Ken, so
Yeah,
should we start? Should we
yeah,
probably we should, huh?
yeah. I'm just opening some few reference links, some inspirations,
Yeah,
like a
no,
mood board.
no worries, no worries, no worries. I'll probably share my screen as well.
Mm.
Uh, yeah.
Welcome to Design Jam Session, or as I'd like to call it, DJs, where I give you a brief, you give me a playlist, and we try to tackle it over some good music. I mean, we were just sitting back, chopping it up, reminiscing about the good old days,
Yeah, interesting. So
track
cool.
my roots, where I came from, and where I'm going to.
Okay, okay. So let me just start by. So I'll probably just look for uh, some references. So Deadbeat, an online music focused on EDM, drum bass, dubstep, and I forgot to tell you this, but we only have around half an hour, 25 minutes, yeah, to whip something up, yeah.
Okay.
So let's okay. So let's go to
Just looking for something.
yeah. So I'm going for kind of a skull vibe, or not actually a skull. Let's do a gravestone. Let's do a gravestone. Let's see how that looks like.
I'm super interesting. Oh, cool. Just got something close to what I wanted.
Yeah. So I'm
Okay.
going for something like
Let's try-
probably like
wow.
this. Um, you can probably share your screen so that we see what you're working with.
Okay. So I think my process, I moved away from, I've been fortunate enough to acquire a Wacom tablet.
Yeah.
So I moved away from sketching a lot on paper
Mhm.
because I had a lot of hassle of scanning and having to put it on Illustrator. And I'm
Yeah.
still traditional, like I still like having pencil to paper, but now I do a lot of sketching on Photoshop or Paint, which is a comic-based software.
Mhm.
Well, I like doing my rough sketches there just to ideate what direction I'd like to go,
Mhm.
and from there I can see. So I'm just going to pull in some references.
Yeah.
Welcome to Design Jam Session,
Share my screen as well.
where I give you a brief, you give
So
me
I'm going to be switching. I'm going to first share my Photoshop screen,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
I'll select later.
Yeah. No worries.
You've been working with your phone or tablet,
Uh-huh.
and you can whatever softwares that are there on Android or whatever it is for you to draw. It's actually quite an interesting machine, but
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't for everybody. There's still the more desktop version that
Uh-huh.
is one, and then two more for people who are into branding and UI.
Yeah.
This is more recommended for people who are a lot into comic book art, video game, 3D. I think it would suit you more if
For
you are in
3D.
those. Yes. A lot of drawing or handheld processes. So
Yeah, I was using a Wacom a while back. I actually stopped. Right now, I'm using a mouse, a really neat mouse. It's called, I think, the Geo2 Logitech. It's a gaming mouse, basically.
yeah, I
But
know it.
it has extra buttons that have mapped to my Photoshop and like Illustrator.
I've been thinking about getting that as well.
Uh-huh.
I'm dependent on my Magic Mouse or the Apple Magic Mouse.
Yeah.
Um, but I think when you get used to a Wacom and especially the pen with the shortcuts, when you move to a mouse, you find yourself being a little bit handicapped because you only have two buttons to work with.
Yeah. I'm
So
just figuring. Hope my music is not too loud.
no. I can't even hear it as
You
much.
can't? No?
Don't tell him, come on, fellas. That ain't none of your biz. Got on your bodysuit, you know I'm on your ass today.
Thinking of maybe at the bottom I'd have some sound waves. So let me see if I can something as a reference.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to find a few. I'm trying to find a very organic style, and you probably have an advantage over me because you're using a Wacom. But really organic lines, really organic hand-drawn lines.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Let's see.
Say it loud, say it proud, you want it more. We open door,
hit the couch, then the floor. I cut it
up like a scissor.
Color overlay this.
So much shit we can do. You free to say whatever, baby, if you asking me. No limit when I'm in it, got a masterpiece.
Not sure how I apply this. Let me just continue thinking. And it got the way I wanted it to.
Yeah.
Girl, I'm from the east side. Girl, you on my best side. But she from the west side. Now I just wanna know. Don't you sugarcoat. I say it all if you want. Could you tell me like it is? Pretty little fears. Music to my ears. I just wanna know. Don't you sugarcoat. I say it all if you want. Now could you tell me like it is? Pretty little fears. Music to my ears.
Yeah.
I'm loving your light, vulnerable. Letting your guard down, it's honorable. Especially when the past ain't been that friendly to you, but there's magic in that. You the flower that I gotta protect and keep alive in the wintertime. Hey, don't you die yet. You've been way more than a friend of mine. We more like fam. I raised you, you raised me. Let's turn this whole life round. You can confide in me. I can take the weight up off your shoulder blades and try to store the pain.
So I think I pretty much know what I want to do. Kind of have an idea of what I want to do. I'll just probably sketch this out.
Gonna have like it's always funny for me how you can draw torn skin. So
okay.
Make areas without any hair.
Okay, let's see. So I'll probably do a sketch.
About the eye hanging.
Could you tell me like it is? Pretty little fears. Music to my ears.
Probably introduce that. It's not messing up my.
Yeah. Let me ask. So my idea is. So do you know that thing? This is probably a stupid question. When people die and when they flatline. That machine. Do you know the name?
EPG? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Try EPG off.
I think it's EPG if I'm not wrong.
EPG machine.
EPG machine. So my idea is probably to
Yep,
have.
yep.
It's called EPG, huh?
Something close to it.
You think I don't know when to call it quits? How could I not know after all this?
So one thing that I normally do is once I have my sketch laid out, it gives me a rough idea. I normally just sit down, and it's I never am clean with my sketches, so I use it as a baseline, and then I just reduce the opacity. So then I use it as a reference to now go final more
Yeah.
detailed concept.
So your process is very much like seasoned artists. I've seen like a lot of artists do this in feature films, and also there's a really nice artist. His name is Aaron Blaze. I think he animated The Lion King. It has really awesome tutorials.
Trust what I told you. Lately it's like you've been speaking fantasy and I'm speaking reality. Cause we got problems we ain't getting over. I think we breaking up. And not just on some boyfriend, girlfriend shit. I think we've had enough. Like I can't hear you. I'm falling out of love.
Yeah, so I think I've gotten my sketch ready.
Okay.
I'm just looking for. Yeah, that probably works.
There you go. Trying to a little bit more detail on the hanging eye.
Music equalizer.
It's like a nut.
So I had a question. Do you think what's your stand on originality versus stealing like an artist?
I will, as an artist and an aspiring artist and a designer, I'll never advocate for stealing. I always say there's two things. One, there's nothing new.
Yeah. So I think
whatever
that's yeah.
There's always like a variation or an idea of it that might exist or is there in one way or the other. But regardless of that, originality is the concept of the idea of originality can change with generation. You can take something that is already existing, evolve it, add to it, and give it and add to the creative community. But taking that something that somebody else had already created and calling it your own, that is stealing.
Yeah.
There will ever be.
So
Because then what you creative, they're actually good at their work and actually creating content that is original and deserve to be praised. And you steal that hard work, that effort, that sweat from somebody,
Yeah.
call it your own, will never be. Coming from a teacher who is
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
difficult with my students about things,
Yeah.
they will attack. They never go and steal stuff
Yeah.
because they know they're stealing from another creative who's just like them.
Yeah. So we had, I don't think I told you this before, but we had a student, not, I don't think it was a student, but someone who interviewed at my last workplace, and they had stolen their portfolio design from um, a really big designer from the US.
Mhm,
And it was actually one of my art directors. His name is Mburu, who
mhm,
caught it, and he was like, I think I've seen something similar to this somewhere. And when we Googled, it was a copy of everything, basically everything. He basically ripped off everything,
mhm,
even the cover design, which was very
mhm,
significant to the designer, which was Adav. Um, and I don't know
mhm.
why he chose to actually steal it, and we ended up not calling him. Um,
Yeah.
I personally have a different side to it where I'm very I've kind of learned how, and I wouldn't even call it stealing because I would probably go to someone's website and see how they've used that font, and I
Mhm.
would probably go and find that font and use it in my way. So is that stealing? And
Well,
there's so
it's the
and
same as if I liked the Safaricom green or the Airtel
yeah,
red,
yeah,
Nairobi it's orange, and then chose to say, that's an interesting color
mm,
palette, and I would like to borrow that color, maybe apply it
yeah.
somewhere else. You know, uh, that's
So
one
it's not,
thing.
yeah,
So,
and
when one creative, it's the same as
mm,
Africans. We have our culture and our heritage,
yeah,
and we've been able to do artwork that is solely identified as African, from the batik artworks that we do to the
yeah,
type of sculpture and masks. We are not so much known for tattoo work, maybe Madagascar, but we're not so much known for that. But
mhm,
we are known for fabrics.
yeah,
But then somebody else comes to Africa and says, you know what, that's a very interesting pattern. I'd like to take that pattern and apply it on a digital surface, and maybe as a tattoo, or maybe as a tribal T-shirt, or
yeah,
something direction. They've taken something that is existing and molded it and grown with it into something new.
yeah,
Or when we were growing up, lessons were just for women, and
yeah,
all around. But over time, now they are shirts. Now they are
yeah,
they're t-shirts, and it's evolved.
yeah,
But there needed to be somebody who did it first, and then it evolved to what we appreciate today. That's not stealing. That is adopting and learning from another creative,
yeah,
and learning the tools that they've put into the world. If you had taken their logo and their
mhm,
font and everything and then called it your own, or
mhm,
just shifted to your own concept, then
mhm,
that's painful, and
yeah.
it's wrong.
So I don't like personally telling people still, not people rather, but students who are like
Mhm.
fresh off design school to the phrase still like an artist, because
Mhm.
if
So you
they're
always
not, yeah, I'm also very um, I don't know. I feel like I'm very careful when I tell them still like an artist, because I know it can be misinterpreted in
sure.
very many ways. Unless I kind of show them other people's process and whatnot, and show them how they borrow. It's the same thing you talked about, how you're seeing um, the same you're seeing the same patterns when you learn different programs. Yeah, you're seeing like when you're learning what's video editing. It's the same process when you're designing maybe in Illustrator. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I kind of tell them that with a grain of salt. Let's switch to probably your screen. So this is what I have going on. I just had a brief. So I'm planning on doing the equalizer, whatever, on the
Mhm.
gravestone with kind of a cracked, what's it called? A cracked gravestone, and then deadbeat. That's basically,
Interesting.
yeah.
Watch your mouth when you letting shit slide. Don't you know I got way too much pride?
So I've moved to Illustrator. Brought in my illustration there.
Hmm.
I'm just going to see what I can do with it.
Let's see how that works. I think that's
Um,
it.
something interesting there.
Okay. So now you're perfectly in tune with your Wacom. Like you do everything with your Wacom, yeah?
Some funny thing is I do find myself picking up the desktop version
Uh-huh.
when I'm doing UI because it's just something about looking at your screen directly and the keyboard on the side, and
Yeah.
I think mine websites and the likes interfaces for such a long time that I still find it more comfortable to do UIs with the desktop version or even a mouse.
Really?
It's that I missed the intuitiveness of just being able to just redo by just clicking a button very quickly
Yeah.
to my keyboard. I really try. I've learned to work without my keyboard um, so much that
Um,
when that's not, I feel like I'm running slow.
uh,
But in terms of sketching and anything that is like illustrations and those kind of artworks,
yeah.
definitely.
So how are you dealing with like shortcuts, keyboard shortcuts?
So the pen gives me there's two buttons at the bottom. So so one is when I click on it, it gives me an eraser, and I can also customize it for different software. Like in Photoshop, it's an eraser. When I
Hmm.
jump to Illustrator, you see it's actually still depending on what I want it to be.
Mm,
And the top one is for like quick right click, so I can easily do that.
mm.
It has Wacom provides me with a radio. What is it called? A radio button
A radio
that
button.
tap it and gives around 16 different quick options that I have.
Okay, so you customize it depending on your workflow and the
Yes.
program, yeah?
So most of the time, they're just shortcuts.
Okay. Um, okay. 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 Okay.
How is your flow?
It's my sorry.
How is your flow? Like, how is your progress?
Yes, I've just made my gravestone. I'm just looking for those kind of organic lines. Um, so I'm trying to find really nice organic lines. So it's just a bit of fine tuning.
Okay.
Uh, but yeah, it's coming along. It's coming along. Uh,
Mm, there you go.
yeah, this I kind of like where this is going. Um, I probably just want the equalizer.
As it's always funny how when you're designing your concept, you always think,
Hmm.
I could have made it this more realistic if I just done this, this, and this. And I always do my best to fight that urge to change.
Uh-huh.
And if I meet something along the way, one trick that I know doing is I always like duplicating
Yeah,
and then finish this and then come back to that later on.
yeah. I personally just like, especially for this series that I'm doing, I kind of want to constrain the time so that people kind of do the core, like the core idea is more important than the final. Like in my
Yeah.
opinion, like if I want people to like spend just I don't know if 30 minutes is enough, but 30 minutes for you to convey your idea as simple as possible on your canvas. Obviously, it'd probably be 35, 45, or maybe 30. I'll probably work with that. And that this kind of forces you to like create a bit faster and kind of thinking while you create. So, yeah. So I was actually talking to someone and I was telling them, do you remember us? There's this guy who came when we were students, and he said he kind of left his six-figure paying job to become an artist. Do you remember that?
When you were students?
The guy left his six-figure paying job to become an artist.
No, no, I think it's no, I don't. Do you remember his name?
I really can't remember his name, but he worked at a bank, and I remember
Mm.
he came as a guest, and he showcased his art, and he does amazing art. I really can't remember his name. I've forgotten completely his name.
No.
But I've been thinking about that guy and probably following his work, and I'm like, I'll probably never get close to
Mhm.
remembering his name. So this is where I'm at. I kind of want to add a bit of details to the gravestone.
Mhm.
Um,
I want like a negative effect on mine. Not sure how it's coming out. Uh,
Mhm. And I remember you guys had what's it called? A motion design class
yeah.
when we joined, and then it was like um,
Only like two or one person would choose the
yeah,
specialization.
and then it was done away with.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
It was
remember,
paying
and
Geoffrey the
oh, there's a
what?
trainer.
No, I'm saying Geoffrey, the trainer at the time,
Uh-huh.
was really passionate.
Yeah,
But I
I would also like to like teach for a bit some motion design. Um,
most welcome.
uh, and I remember the first time when we came to Media Lab, and I remember asking, "Oh, so what are you going to choose?" And I was like, "Ah, perfect. This is the time. I'm probably going to choose um, motion design." And then we didn't have, oh, the machines weren't strong enough for us to like do motion. Yeah, I think that was the case.
I think CC had started being updated at the time.
Yeah, yeah. Also, CC. We're using CS6, yeah.
I think it's in your year that CC was
Oh,
released. When did you
2016, if I'm not wrong.
wanted to see if I could achieve that black and white negative effect, maybe coming out as
Uh, on the headphones, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So I'm trying to like get like highlights on my cracks. Okay.
Mhm.
Uh, and I can't really find a way to get. Yeah, that looks good. Uh, so I'm trying to kind of flatline my wave beat, so that it makes sense that it's dead beat.
Uh,
So I don't know how, but it can't be on my gravestone. It has to be
what about
on the
instead of the
EC.
grass,
Sorry.
at the bottom? There's normally like what is it called? Like when the tombstone touches the ground, there's always like a grass that grows at the bottom. So instead of the grass, why won't you do the waves?
That's interesting. That's interesting. Okay, so I think we have around either 15 minutes to go. Yep, 15 minutes.
We should have a final direction by then.
Yeah. I'd probably just plop this in here, see how it looks like.
Some brand new doors on top, but we came from the floor. Do you believe in foresight? I do, 'cause I can't ignore life. I wrote this in a hotel the size of a closet, just to show you that I could do it, just to show you that it ain't much to it. If you got your hand out, don't be surprised when I look at you stupid. Where were you when it was me and the music? Don't compare me to no nigga that I'm better than. Still new, but my attitude better than. And ain't nothing wrong with it. Since 6, I knew I was gon' get it. I ain't working, then my palms start itching. Ever since a nigga put a gun to my face.
I'm just looking for a font right now for my
playing field ain't never been even. I ain't about to make that shit either. See, I'm trying to copy my aura, they some readers. Study all you want, but I came up.
Okay.
Overcomplicating this.
Yeah, I'm also going a bit deep with mine as well. This is probably the designer in us doing the work,
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh? Do you think this itch for perfectionism for
Will
design,
never die.
do you think it will ever die? Where
No, not going anywhere. You'll be at 50 and you'll see a big car and you'll be like, I could have done it better. Maybe if the lights were over there. and that's such a bad red. Who would buy a car like that? Like those are the conversations.
I could have done better. That's every designer I know, by the way.
Like for me, it always hurts me when my friends who know that I'm a designer and they end up getting bad jobs or projects and they're done. And you know, they're like friends and you really want the best for them.
Yeah.
But it's also the designer in you to tell them when they really have a bad logo or something. And sometimes you really want to differentiate between, I'm not working, this is my friend, leave it alone. But a bad logo or a bad business card is a bad business card. Like
you can't
you can't ignore it.
You can't ignore a bad logo. So I don't know where I'm going with mine per se. I don't know where I'm going with this.
Not sure. Time to test. I don't know.
Yeah, so I'm just playing around with some fonts to see what like sticks. Oh, I actually forgot to tell you you're supposed to share a playlist.
Yeah, I actually just forgot. It's fine.
Yeah, we actually.
I think you'll add it over.
No, I actually have it playing. I don't know if you can hear it.
No, actually, funny thing is that I can't hear your playlist. I'm
really?
thinking that's the.
What about now?
Still nothing.
That's. Oh, I know why. I know why. I know why. I know why. Technical difficulties.
And this is so unlike me because I never design in silence. So funny thing is I'm slowly moving away from playing music and I play sounds. So I okay, my hands down has to be rain. So a lot of the time when I'm actually listening to rain, and it allows me to concentrate more. I also listen to, I don't know, it's called white noise.
White
so it's
noise,
like the noise from space. So it's ambience.
Yeah, so I personally listen to ambience when I'm frustrated or when nothing is making sense. You're actually the second person I know who listens to Rain. I don't think I think it has a name. It's ambience or godly. Something godly something. So it's basically the sound of deep space.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So I think I've done that a couple of times. Not I usually just do music. But yeah, that's interesting to hear. Kindly just tell me when you hear my speaker because
Okay. I think I've completely lost it here. Just put that back. Still nothing.
yeah. So I'll probably have to check
It could be
that.
something.
Yeah, it's definitely something in my what's it called?
Settings.
Yeah, audio settings. It's definitely that. Okay, that's a bit weird.
Don't like the way the tongue looks.
Yeah, that whole black and white. Yeah. So this is interesting because this test stream would probably be a foundation to the coming ones.
Yeah.
And I actually found out something really great, eh? So the other day I was watching Netflix and I just called someone and we like watched a movie over Zoom.
Mhm. I think it's called watch along. You did a watch along.
Yeah, we did a watch along. And I thought that was really interesting.
I've been wanting to do for Avengers and just redo the entire Avengers
Uh-huh.
timeline.
Uh-huh.
Just a crew of dedicated superhero fanatics
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and just go crazy. I talked about it with some friends who came over, trying something. Just a moment. I tried it. We discussed it with some friends who came over,
Uh-huh.
and they were like, "Yeah, definitely, something we would enjoy
Yeah,
doing."
I would also enjoy that,
So
especially for some of my friends um who haven't like watched the Marvel movies. I really want them to watch them.
Mhm.
The CD player or the audio player, and everyone in the room hears it exactly.
Sorry to say, it never makes sense for me to hear somebody who's not watched Marvel. It's like the
Yeah,
ultimate sin. Like,
yeah. Like, what was your childhood?
where last 10 years? How did you not hear? What is wrong with you?
Hmm? But there are
Is
some people who like haven't.
movies? Yeah, this genuine. Like one of my, I think you remember one boy. She used to be a trainer in Arabics.
Yeah, yeah,
Managed
yeah,
the person.
yeah, yeah. The one
He
with the
literally just
dreadlocks, eh?
started watching for her kids, and she genuinely, I don't think she enjoys it, but
Mm-hmm.
she likes the fact that her kids enjoy it, and
Yeah,
it's a whole series, and they get together, and she started doing it with her kid.
that's dope. I personally make my children watch them from start to finish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't care if they don't like it. We have to be on the same page. We have to be on the same page when when the next Avengers movie for whichever hero will be next comes out, you need to know the storyline.
No debate about it.
Yeah, there's no my house, my rules. The way your parents forced you to do some things.
Yeah,
Eh?
I'm laughing because I also know that will be the case in my house as well. They'll be like, "Yeah, you want to? I told you to watch that movie with me, and you said no. Yeah, yeah."
Yeah, like my children will probably have a hard time with me. Yeah, because I don't understand. Like, when the first time I saw, um, I think it was Spider-Man. Not even Spider-Man. Blade. When Blade was coming out, um,
Mhm.
and this was when I was like really young, and like I didn't even back then I didn't know like Blade was part of the Marvel universe.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that didn't like I just loved the movie because and I think it was during Spider-Man is when I was like, this is what. And I remember vividly watching Spider-Man and going, wah 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 wah.
Mm.
That is it.
The same.
You
That is
found your
it.
thing.
Okay.
I found my thing,
Now,
definitely.
that's
Spider-Man was
what we
such
can
a
do
changer.
using Zoom by sharing our screen, or there are actually two ways to do it, but the first way is to share our screen and play computer audio so that everyone hears the audio from your computer, not from your computer through your microphone to their computer. Think of it as like it sends the audio to everyone's computer. It's a really good way to think about it. Now, there are two ways to do this. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. And I always forget to click the button, which is key. Okay. But face is a better way because I'm using QuickTime.
Yeah, so I need to like yeah, so you can't share your screen without that's interesting by the way. So that's why you haven't been hearing my audio.
No,
Yeah,
it's only from your side, huh? You can only hear it on your
yeah,
side.
yeah. So I think I've figured it out. Yep. Yeah, so we'll probably do some troubleshooting on my end. Sure.
To record all of this, but I'm going to show is when you do the share screen, one student or
Sure.
Find like a perfect angle for this.
Desktop audio with some you're so insecure.
Hey everyone, this is just a quick video primarily for music professors who may want to share audio to have a shared listening experience while teaching via Zoom in the coming weeks. You can share just your
How does mine look
computer
on your side?
audio in Zoom without sharing your.
Sorry?
Does mine look on your side?
It looks
Does the
good. Um,
oh,
personally, I'm just this is where I am. I've been doing some troubleshooting as well, but let's move that. Uh, I'm
let's
leaning
see?
more towards this. You can say it, yeah?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. So yeah, this is where we're leading to. I'm just doing a bit of troubleshooting, but yeah. So this is some of the mood boards I had on. I really like this. Uh, I really like this as well.
The
So I'm,
flaming.
yeah, so I'm trying to get some of those organic shapes. Um,
Let me see if I can get this looking a little bit better.
mhm.
Because,
And let me ask, Masaka, I haven't seen him in a while.
yeah, Masaka is working on Wilson X.
Uh-huh.
He left Nairobi, I think, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, but he was a training coordinator before he left.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and then he decided to go into like more of working on his personal project.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in a while.
But he shares a lot of his work and the different projects that he's doing online. So if you need to just see what he's up to,
I'll definitely.
Instagram thing.
So there's something I wanted to show, not to show you, but to tell you. I think you should. Have you thought about like doing the carousel content on Instagram? I think you really have a lot of, especially for your students,
Mhm.
a lot to give on the platform. Um, and I think you've seen the carousel, whatever. The carousel. Let me show you an example. Let me show you Instagram. This guy is called Christo. Yeah, so this guy really does an amazing job at. So let me share. Of doing this carousel. So let's do brand strategy. Uh, if you're trying to understand a basketball team,
Like in using it like a flip book or
yeah, and then you kind of have your own like content, how to get inspired through music, and then it's really well designed as well. Looking for the perfect places to work. So I think this would work perfectly for you, especially if you have students and maybe if you have a separate page for you where you just share some of the insights that you have as a teacher. I really love
uh,
I really love these formats of like consuming content. They are not uh, too much, and I'm just scrolling through Instagram.
look at.
Yeah.
generating.
I'm starting to finally get a direction for mine.
Mhm.
Getting the flow for the zombie
Yeah.
negative effect.
So it's kind of reminding me of the Gorillas,
Yeah.
yeah, the band.
It's been in a while. So I'm gonna do away with the eye. Just have
Yeah. So did you did you listen to a lot of Gorillaz or a lot of?
I only love I think one or two Gorilla songs.
Mm.
Uh, I think it is "It Ain't Happening," "Feeling Sunshine." I don't know. I can.
Ah, yeah. Da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da. Yeah.
It was amazing, and
Yeah.
but my sister, though, oh my gosh, my sister is like she was a gorilla person completely,
Yeah.
and yeah, but I think she listened to it's one of those things where you like a band, but you only
Mhm.
like that song that
They
went
did.
public.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she then she was a rockhead, so,
Mhm.
so she generally just liked the gorillas. But I like the idea of their music also. You know, the fact that I didn't even know how they look like. I only knew their
Yeah.
character.
Yeah, I think that was really it was really interesting. Like at that point you're forced to either like their music or not. Like you can't
Yes,
yeah.
it's
So it's purely about the craft and not about the looks.
true. It's like Sia. If you like Sia's music, you generally like Sia's music. You don't
Yeah.
like how she looks
Yeah.
because a lot of time you don't even see her in her own videos. So
Yeah. Sorry, can you hear that?
no, I
Uh,
can't. You're
what?
playing
I'm playing a test. I'm playing a test. It's called a speaker test. Okay, that's weird. That is weird. Yeah. So, do you have anything to add to this quote unquote show? Um,
this is it's an interesting direction for a show. I
yeah.
clearly in some time since I designed on the go with
Mm,
I'm sure you have classes where you would come up with a topic and go, but most of
yeah.
the time the website never a logo. Um,
Yeah.
I like the direction, and I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
coming on board this
Yeah.
timing.
And we're going to have
Yeah.
other ones, obviously. And yeah, the thing I like about it is I'm not like it's you. This is your time to like let go of steam. No one is telling you move these 3 pixels to the right. It's purely your own interpretation, and I personally love that.
And I think I have a direction for mine. I think I'm finally done. I think I'm generally just going to go away with that.
Uh-huh.
And I have a nice zombie. Think the background could be better.
Mhm.
I could just do that. Yeah. I think there should be a way for me to just.
Mm. Oh,
And
so I know what the problem is. Oh yeah, this is mine.
Programs and restart those to make sure that it can get included in this. But once you have that initial setup, it's just as easy as you saw here. Just click share, and then suddenly everything that's on
trying out
But what would I do with you?
Yeah.
Is it the chase I love? I've only ideas of you, and no concept of us. No, we wouldn't lie.
just get that name in here.
Even
Yeah.
though I give
No,
up.
no, no. gave it the text, the name of the company.
Yeah. I
Deadbeat.
think I'm done as well. Probably add a few strokes. So that.
Damn, I don't have some nice Gothic fonts.
Yeah. It's a really nice font. I've like forgotten the name, but it looks like it has like a claw mark. Like someone just ripped it from somewhere. And I've forgotten
Like a
the name.
Jurassic.
Yeah, like Jurassic World themed font.
Sure, I can just get a font very quickly.
I'll probably change my font as well. Yeah.
I am happy.
You
It's got an
are. Just give me a sec.
It's got a nice font.
Yeah, I'm also liking this direction. Yeah. I'm just going to go full black and white. I'm not going to add any colors. Yeah.
I'm just going to install my font very quickly.
Okay. Wait. So the time when I was playing our intro, you didn't really hear it.
Nope. I saw it, but I didn't hear it.
Oh shit.
But the good thing is that you're recording it from your side, so I'm sure you're good.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's deadbeat or
Deadbeat.
Yeah, deadbeat.
Check out my audio devices. Stereo
Going to
mix.
carry on the tradition.
So I just changed a few of my settings. Hopefully this would work. Yeah. Side by side mode. So shake you.
Okay. Interesting. Just deleted the background and it
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah, the beat is really coming through.
last minute changes. You know what? I like you.
Yeah, so this is where I'm at currently.
Creative never stops. Gotcha. Judge?
Yep.
Judge?
Yep. Yep. Let me just upload something on my. Yep.
Judge?
Yes. Yep. You can hear me. Oh shit. Yep. We're done, eh? Am I not yet?
Judge?
Yes. You can hear me.
I can hear you. You'd gone silent a little bit.
I think. Let me. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Okay. 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 So this is where I am in terms of my design. Obviously, you're having some last minute changes on your end. I can see.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm digging the really. Obviously, if I gave you the whole day, you probably go at it.
Definitely. Zombies are my thing.
Yeah, I know. This is why I picked this brief. Here is mine, and I've seen a few things that I could have done a bit better. I wanted the waves to kind of be the audio waves to kind of be in an ECG, and they were flatlining from the highest note to maybe the flat line. Some direction I could actually think of doing. Yeah, I'm digging yours as well. What font is that? I want to steal it.
It's called Zombie. I'll send the link to you. There you go. It's called Zombie Tie. Zombie Tie.
Zombie tie. Let's see. Okay.
There you are. Just send it to you.
Perfect. Let me just charge my phone a bit. Give me a sec.
Let me add some color while you're gone.
Yeah. Sorry, my phone was going off.
Yeah,
we've recorded for almost 2 hours 5 minutes. we are we are the first ones. We are the first ones, so we are forgiven automatically.
Yes.
Yeah. I've decided to go black and white with mine. I'm seeing you're adding a bit of color, obviously.
Yeah, a little bit. I thought the red would spark a little bit more, and I think it does.
Yeah. So obviously you'd probably work on it. I also work on mine, and then we'd share them on our social. I think I'd probably have a separate page for the design jam session.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm thinking of a way of doing 3 people. I don't know how I'll do it, but streaming with 3 people on board and then just talking in the meantime. Huh? So that's been it. I hope I haven't taken
interesting.
If you have ideas also, please shoot them my way. If you have favorite streams that you're a fan of that have nice ideas, shoot them my way. I'll probably add them into our schedule. So that's been it, guys. These are the final products. Yeah, thank you. Stay safe. Yeah.
Oh, last minute changes. You know what? I like you.
Yeah, so this is where I'm at currently.
Creative never stops. Judge?
Yep.
Judge?
Yep. Yep. Let me just upload something on my. Yep.
Judge?
Yes. Yep. You can hear me. Oh shit. Yep. We're done, eh? Am I not yet?
Judge?
Yes. You can hear me?
I can hear you. You'd gone silent a little bit.
I think, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Okay. So this is where I am in terms of my design. Obviously, you're having some last minute changes on your end, I can see.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm digging the really. Obviously, if I gave you the whole day, you probably go at it.
Definitely. Zombies are my thing.
Yeah, I know. This is why I picked this brief. Here is mine, and I've seen a few things that I could have done a bit better. I wanted the waves to kind of be, the audio waves to kind of be in an ECG, and they were flatlining from the highest note to maybe the flat line. It's a direction I could actually think of doing. I'm digging yours as well. What font is that? I want to steal it.
It's called Zombie. I'll send the link to you. There you go. It's called Zombie Tie.
Zombie Tie. Yeah. Let's see. Okay.
There you are. Just send it to you.
Perfect. Let me just charge my phone a bit. Give me a sec.
Let me add some color while you're gone.
Yeah. Sorry, my phone was going off. We've recorded for almost 2 hours 5 minutes. we are the first ones. We are the first ones, so we are forgiven automatically.
Yes.
I've decided to go black and white with mine. I'm seeing you're adding a bit of color, obviously.
Yeah, a little bit. I thought the red would spark a little bit more, and I think it does.
Yeah. So obviously you'll probably work on it. I also work on mine, and then we'd share them on our social. I think I'll probably have a separate page for the design jam session.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm thinking of a way of doing 3 people. I don't know how I'll do it, but streaming with 3 people on board and then just talking in the meantime. That's been it. I hope I haven't taken
interesting.
If you have ideas also, please shoot them my way. If you have favorite streams that you're a fan of that have nice ideas, shoot them my way. I'll probably add them into our schedule. So that's been it, guys. These are the final products. Yeah, thank you. Stay safe. Yeah.
I mean, we were just sitting back, chopping it up, reminiscing about the good old days and all that. Tracking my roots, where I came from and where I'm going.